Once upon a time, in a small village in eastern Nigeria, there lived a young man named Emeka. Life had never been easy for him. Born into a poor family, Emeka grew up seeing his mother, Mama Ngozi, struggle to make ends meet. Despite their challenges, Mama Ngozi always reminded Emeka to work hard and remain humble. As Emeka grew older, he faced rejection from the ladies in his village. None of them wanted to be with him because he was poor. But Emeka never let these rejections crush his spirit. He believed that one day things would change, and they did. After many years of hustling and saving, Emeka moved to the city, started a business, and slowly, his fortune began to grow. Soon enough, Emeka became a millionaire. Everyone wanted to be associated with him. He now had the flashy cars, the big house, and the money he had always dreamed of. But something was missing. Real love. The women that came into his life now were not like before. They smiled at him, but their eyes sparkled only when they saw his money. He knew in his heart that none of them truly loved him for who he was. Disappointed, Emeka made up his mind to leave his glamorous life behind for a while. He needed to find true love, someone who would appreciate him beyond the wealth he had gathered. And so, he packed his bags and decided to travel to Owerri, a town known for its warm people. Maybe there, he could find someone who would see him for the person he truly was, not just a man with money. But little did Emeka know that this journey would be filled with twists and unexpected surprises. When Emeka arrived in Owerri, he wasn't sure where life would lead him. After driving around for hours, he stopped by a mechanic workshop to fix his car. The mechanic was an elderly man, kind-hearted and full of wisdom. Seeing Emeka's humility and determination, the old man offered him a place to stay, even though he barely knew him. "Young man, life is hard, but you never know where your breakthrough will come from. Come and work with me in my workshop. You can sleep in the small room behind," the old man said. Emeka, feeling grateful, agreed. He started working at the mechanic workshop every day, learning the trade, fixing cars, and blending into his new environment. Despite his wealth, Emeka dressed simply. His clothes were worn out, and people around had no idea who he truly was. He approached ladies from time to time, hoping to find someone who could see beyond his appearance, but most of them laughed at him. "See this one? So because you work in a mechanic workshop, you think you can talk to me?" One lady sneered. "I beg, carry your poverty away." Another one laughed, her friends joining in. But Emeka wasn't discouraged. He was on a mission to find genuine love, not someone who loved him because of his money. One day, while working at the workshop, he met a young lady named Amarachi. She came to repair her car, and unlike the others, she didn't judge Emeka by his looks or what he did for a living. She smiled kindly at him and even thanked him for his help. As time went on, Amarachi started visiting the workshop more often. She would bring Emeka food and sit with him during breaks, talking about life, dreams, and struggles. Her friends, however, couldn't understand her. "Amarachi, are you mad? Why are you wasting your time with that mechanic? Can't you see he has nothing?" they would ask, laughing at her. But Amarachi didn't care. She saw something in Emeka that others couldn't see. Despite the taunts, she stood by him, helping him in any little way she could. Sometimes, she would even give him small gifts, just to show that she cared. Emeka couldn't believe it. Could Amarachi truly love him for who he was, without knowing about his wealth? He began to feel unsure, especially since he had been rejected by so many others. He wondered if maybe, just maybe, Amarachi was different. But doubts crept in as his mind replayed the painful rejections of the past. At the same time, a new face had appeared. Kingsley, a flashy, well-dressed young man who seemed to have everything Emeka didn't. It wasn't long before Kingsley began showing interest in Amarachi, showering her with gifts, sweet words, and promises of a better life. The people in Owerri began to notice the competition. Emeka would still work at the mechanic workshop, his hands dirty with oil and his clothes worn out, while Kingsley pulled up in his flashy car, wearing designer clothes. The contrast between them was like night and day. "Amarachi, are you really going to stick with that mechanic?" her friends asked, shaking their heads. "Look at Kingsley. He's offering you the world. You can't keep living this poor life with Emeka." Despite the pressure, Amarachi stayed true. She continued to visit Emeka, even bringing him food and sitting by his side during lunch breaks at the workshop. But Emeka remained quiet, unsure of her intentions. On one particular afternoon, Emeka sat outside the workshop, wiping sweat from his brow, when one of the local women, Chika, passed by. She was dressed in bright colors and had a sharp tongue. She had once turned Emeka down when he approached her, and she made sure to remind him of it. "Ah, Emeka, so you're still struggling with this mechanic work, eh?" she teased, smirking. "And you still think you can keep a woman like Amarachi? My dear, it's only a matter of time before she follows Kingsley." Emeka didn't respond. He simply focused on the car he was repairing, but the words stung. Chika wasn't the only one who mocked him. Other women in the area also joined in, whispering behind his back, laughing at his simple appearance. "Look at him, still dressing like a pauper," one of them said. "He doesn't stand a chance against Kingsley. Amarachi will soon leave him." But as the test continued, strange things started happening. Amarachi would receive gifts from Kingsley, expensive handbags, jewelry, and promises of trips to luxurious places. She would listen politely, but her actions didn't change. Every evening, she still came to see Emeka at the workshop, sitting beside him in the dirt, laughing and talking like nothing else mattered. Behind the scenes, Emeka had no idea what was truly going on. He could only watch as Kingsley pursued Amarachi with vigor, his heart sinking with each passing day. Sometimes it seemed like Amarachi might just be swayed by the luxury. Other times, she looked tired of the constant attention. But Emeka couldn't read her mind. Meanwhile, Amarachi's friends grew even more relentless. "Amarachi, we don't understand you," one of them said. "Kingsley is literally handing you a golden opportunity. Why are you wasting your time with a poor mechanic? He has nothing to offer you." But Amarachi only smiled and said, "Love isn't about money. I know what my heart wants." Emeka, from a distance, didn't hear these words. Instead, he saw Kingsley's gifts and his flashy lifestyle, and he felt more insecure than ever. Women like Chika and others never missed a chance to mock him, and the weight of their judgment began to feel heavy on his shoulders. Yet Amarachi's actions told a different story. Despite Kingsley's efforts and her friend's advice, she never once stopped caring for Emeka. But could this really be real? Or was it all just a phase? Emeka continued to doubt himself, wondering if Amarachi was just waiting for the right moment to switch sides. With all the pressure from Kingsley, her friends, and society, would she eventually leave him, like so many others had? And so, the days went on, with Emeka working harder than ever, unsure of where this test would lead. The tension between him and Kingsley continued to build, and the people around Owerri were watching closely, eager to see how the story of Emeka and Amarachi would unfold. Days turned into weeks, and the tension continued to rise between Emeka, Kingsley, and Amarachi. Emeka still couldn't shake off his doubts. The constant mocking from women like Chika, along with Kingsley's persistent wooing of Amarachi, was taking a toll on him. But he stayed quiet, observing from a distance as Kingsley threw wealth and luxury at Amarachi's feet. One day, Kingsley pulled out all the stops. He invited Amarachi to an exclusive dinner at the finest hotel in Owerri. It was the kind of place where only the rich dined, and he was determined to impress her once and for all. Amarachi accepted the invitation, but her mind wasn't on Kingsley. That evening, as she sat across from him at the candlelit table, Kingsley made his move. He leaned forward, speaking in a low, confident tone. "Amarachi, you've been playing hard to get for too long," he said, flashing his perfect smile. "I'm offering you a life of comfort, of riches. You deserve better than Emeka, that mechanic. I know you see it. Everyone does. Come with me, and you'll never want for anything." Amarachi listened, her heart conflicted, but she was still determined. Before she could respond, Kingsley stood up and pulled out a small velvet box. Inside was an extravagant diamond necklace, glittering under the hotel lights. "Say yes, Amarachi," Kingsley whispered. "Be with me." Amarachi looked at the necklace, then back at Kingsley. She smiled politely, but her eyes revealed something deeper. "Kingsley," she said softly, "I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I can't be with you. My heart belongs to someone else." Kingsley's face dropped, shocked and visibly angry. "Someone else? Don't tell me it's that poor mechanic. He can't offer you anything. You're making a mistake, Amarachi." But Amarachi stood firm, politely excusing herself from the table. As she left, Kingsley's frustration was palpable. He couldn't understand how a woman would turn down so much wealth and comfort for a man who seemingly had nothing. The next morning, as usual, Amarachi made her way to the mechanic workshop. She found Emeka deep in work, his face covered in oil, his clothes worn and dusty. She greeted him with her usual smile, but something was different today. She seemed at peace. Just as they were talking, Kingsley appeared again. He wasn't ready to give up. This time, however, his approach was different. He walked straight up to Emeka and scoffed. "Why don't you just let her go?" Kingsley spat out. "You have nothing to offer her. I'm rich, and you're just a poor mechanic. What's left for you here?" Emeka, feeling insulted but calm, stood up to face Kingsley, ready to defend himself. But before he could respond, Amarachi stepped in. "You're wrong, Kingsley," she said. "It's not about the money. Emeka may not have wealth now, but he has something more valuable: heart, honesty, and loyalty." Kingsley, now even more furious, turned to Emeka and mocked him once more. "So you think she'll stick with you, eh? Fine. Let's see how long that lasts." At that moment, a sleek black car pulled up near the workshop, and out stepped a man dressed in a sharp suit, his presence commanding attention. Everyone around the workshop turned to look, wondering who this new arrival could be. It was none other than Femi, Emeka's old friend from the city, the same friend Emeka had been working with behind the scenes. Unknown to everyone, Emeka was not just a poor mechanic. Femi had been helping him set up a major business in the city. All the wealth Emeka had earned over the years was kept hidden, as part of his plan to find someone who loved him for who he truly was. Femi approached with a smile and handed Emeka the keys to a brand new business property, while the people around gasped in shock. Even Amarachi was taken aback. This was the moment of truth. "You've done well, Emeka," Femi said. "Everything is ready. The business is all yours." Emeka took the keys and turned to Amarachi, his heart full of emotions. He finally revealed the truth. "Amarachi, I'm not the poor man everyone thinks I am. I hid my wealth to find someone who would love me for who I am, not for what I have. And you, Amarachi, have proven your heart is pure." Amarachi's eyes welled up with tears. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Emeka was not just a humble mechanic. He was a wealthy businessman, and yet, despite everything, she had loved him for his true self. Kingsley stood there, speechless. The tables had turned in a way he never expected. Amarachi looked at Emeka, her heart full. "I didn't love you because of what you had. I loved you because of who you are, Emeka." And that's how Emeka's journey took an unexpected turn, teaching us that true love isn't about riches, but about the heart. What will happen next between Emeka and Amarachi? Well, you'll have to wait to find out. The story is just getting started, and there's so much more to come. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to Tales by Foxy for more captivating stories like this. Like this video, share it with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep bringing you these amazing tales.